Tuesday satsang program. Since tomorrow is Nirjala Ekadashi, keeping that in mind, we are having class today. Sorry for the inconvenience. So in the last couple of weeks, not couple of weeks, more than couple of months actually, we were discussing from the first 4 chapters of third canto, wherein Srila Sukadeva Goswami talks about Vidura leaving Hastinapur, travels to various holy places, eventually understanding that all the Yadus along with Lord Krishna departed from this surface of this earth. He goes to Vrindavan. There he meets Uddhava, who just met Lord Krishna in Prabhas before he departed from this world. And then Uddhava, being asked by Vidura, explains about how Lord Krishna departed from this world, how Yadus departed from this world. He also remembers Lord Krishna's affectionate dealings with his intimate devotees, the Yadus, Madhuravasis, Dwarkavasis, and others. So, like that, in the second chapter, third chapter, he elaborately talks about Lord Krishna's dealings with his intimate devotees. And then the fourth chapter, he talks about the departure of the Yadus and Lord Krishna. And then before his departure, Lord Krishna spoke to Uddhava and also Maitreya Muni on a special topic about Lord Krishna's own transcendental situation, Paramam Sthitim. So then Lord Krishna instructed Uddhava to go to Badrikashram. So Uddhava now is on the way to Badrikashram. So then he also comes to Vrindavan. That is where both Uddhava and Vidura meets, and whole night they discuss. Next morning, of course, in the discussion, Vidura asks, "Can you please tell me what all Lord Krishna spoke to you before he departed or at Prabhas?" Then Uddhava, keeping in mind that since Maitreya is elderly to both of them, and Vidura himself is elder to him, Uddhava requests Vidura to approach Maitreya Muni so that Maitreya Muni can tell in detail what all Lord Krishna spoke to him. So, having informed him about that, requesting him to approach Maitreya Muni, Uddhava travels to uh, Badrikashram the next morning itself. Then, the last verse of the last chapter, it is mentioned that Kalindya Katibi Siddha Ahobir Bharatarshaba Prapadyata Swa Saritam Yatra Mitra Sutomni. He says that Kalindya Katibi Siddha Ahobir Bharatarshaba. My dear Parikshit, after the departure of Uddhava from the bank of Yamuna, from Vrindavan, Vidura stayed there in Vrindavan for a few more days, couple of days, just to experience whatever Uddhava spoke to Vidura about the wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. He wanted to experience them. So he stayed there for a couple of days. Then, following the path of Swa Saritam, following the path of Yamuna and eventually Ganga, he approached Mitra Suto Muni, Maitreya Muni, who is the son of Mitra. There is a devata called Mitra, his son is Maitreya Muni, and he came there. So, where he met Maitreya Muni and what happened between Maitreya Muni and Vidura is the topic of the rest of the whole third canto and fourth canto. Maitreya and Vidura converses for whole 2 cantos in that sense. About 60 chapters they discuss, starting from the 5th chapter onwards. So now we'll start 5th chapter. Vidura talks with Maitreya. So in the beginning of this chapter, Vidura makes a lot of inquiries to Maitreya. In order to answer all those inquiries, Maitreya Rishi starts speaking from the middle of this chapter. So in the very first verse, he talks about the meeting between Vidura and Maitreya. It says, Sri Shuka Uvacha Dwaridyunadya Rishabhakurunam Maitreya Masina Magada Bodham क्षतोप क्षतो क्षतोपसृष्टा श्रुतत्वावसिद्धा प्रपृच्छ शौचिल्य गुणाभितृप्ता. So here Sukadeva Goswami introduces the place where they met and the place where they had a wonderful conversation. Dwaridyu Nadya Rishabha Kurunam. Dwari means on the path of a particular river. The river name is Dyu Nadya. Nadya means the river. Dyu means heaven. It is actually a heavenly river. Ganga is actually entered into our universe when Lord Vamana pierced the shell of the universe with his toenails as he expanded into Trivikrama form. So Ganga is nothing but non-different from the waters of Viraja river, that river which is there outside of our universe, where Karnadaksha Vishnu is lying. So this is a transcendental river, and as having entered into our universe, Lord Brahma collected that water and did Abhishek to the lotus feet of Lord Vamana or Lord Trivikrama. Then it has become the Charanamrut of Lord Vishnu. So Ganga Nadi is completely called as Charanamrut of Lord Vishnu. And then passing down from Satyaloka to Janaloka, Maharloka, then Sargaloka, then all the other lokas, it comes to Bhuloka. So it is traveling through all the heavenly abodes, higher abodes. That's why it is called Dyu Nadya. In Sanskrit, Dyu means heaven. It is actually a heavenly river. So on the bank of heavenly river, Acharya explained that they met in Haridwar. So we have visited in one of our Brahmachari Yatra. We went to Haridwar. There we were told that on the bank of Ganga, there in one place there is a small guha inside the Ganges river. They constructed a temple around it to protect from flooding. So inside the river, he made his own place of residence, and that is where he used to stay, Maitreya Rishi. And that is where on the bank of Ganga, Vidura met Maitreya Rishi. So that's what it is mentioned. Dwaridyu Nadya Rishabha Kurunam. Rishabha Kurunam means he is best among the Kurus. Vidura is glorified as best among the Kurus. Whom he met? Maitreyam Asinam, who sat there on the bank of Ganga very peacefully. Agadha Bodham. Agadha Bodham means who is endowed with all the variety of transcendental knowledge. Agadha Bodham. He is personality with full of knowledge. He understood the deep essence of all Vedic literature. So that is the quality of Maitreya Rishi. Kshattopa Shrutyachuta Bhava Siddha. Kshatta Upashrutya. Kshatta refers to Vidura. Vidura approached Maitreya and offered him his obeisances, his prayers, and his requests, everything. Achyuta Bhava Siddha. This is the quality of Vidura. Vidura's heart is filled with Achyuta Bhava. He is actually filled with the emotions of Lord Krishna. Because just now Lord Krishna departed, he was thinking about Lord Krishna only continuously, and he was meditating upon what Vidura told him, all the variety of pastimes of Lord Krishna, which he performed all the variety of places, Gokul, Vrindavan, Nandagaon, Madura, Dwaraka, Hastinapur, and all other places. That's why he is called as Achyuta Bhava Siddha. Praprucha Saushilya Gunabhitrupta. Being pleased with the gentle demeanor of Maitreya Rishi, Vidura began to inquire from him. So that is what is indicated. So before starting the subject matter, I will just want to give you background of who is Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi is the son of Mitra. Of course, Mitra once by looking at a Apsara, he discharged the semen. From that semen appeared Maitreya. He is a great sage, appeared from him. He studied under Parashara Muni. He and Vyasadeva both were co-students in the school of Parashara Muni. Parashara is the father of Vyasadeva, and Parashara is the son of Shakti, who is the son of Vasishta. So from that point of view, Parashara is the grandson of Vasishta. who the priest of Lord Ram, etc., etc. So that Parashara taught both Vyasadev and Maitreya Rishi. Even if you remember, out of 18 Purana, there is one Purana called as Vishnu Purana. Just like Bhagavad Purana, in Bhagavad Purana, we see that from the beginning to end, Parikshit Maharaj is asking various questions to Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami is answering. Or the sages of Naimisharanya are asking various questions to Suta Goswami, and Suta Goswami is speaking. And Vishnu Purana is the conversation that took place between Parashara Muni and Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya is asking so many questions, and Parashara is answering vividly. And that conversation is called as Vishnu Purana. So that is the position of Maitreya Rishi. So he is not ordinary person. He is a co-student of Vyasadeva himself, and he is one of the great personality very well described in Mahabharata. And of course, Bhagavatam, we have 2 cantos he is describing. And we'll understand what is the glories of Maitreya Muni throughout the next 2 cantos. What all he speaks to Vidura. Based on that, we understand what is the greatness of Maitreya Rishi. But this is basically a brief introduction about Maitreya Rishi. Who is Maitreya Rishi? He is the son of Mitra, Deva, and one Apsara. Through one Apsara he begot. And he is the student of Parashara Muni. He is the co-student of Srila Vyasadeva. Both are of same age, and that way. For Vidura, Maitreya will be like a father-like figure, a father-like personality. So then Vidura begins to ask. So now, previously Vidura asked Uddhava, can you please tell me what Lord Krishna spoke to you before he departed from this world? That time Uddhava told that you approach Maitreya. So now Uddhava is thinking that how can I ask Maitreya directly that what Krishna spoke to you, can you tell me? So he felt that it is not a good etiquette to approach an elder person and ask directly something. Instead, let me ask some general question, whatever is there in my mind. So while answering those questions, if Maitreya is desirous of telling me what Lord Krishna told to him, let him tell on his own. I will not ask directly, but let Maitreya tell me on his own whatever Lord Krishna told me, the essence of the teachings which Lord Krishna gave to both Uddhava and Maitreya before departed from this world. So with that intention, he asked some general questions which are there in his heart, in his mind. So we'll see what are the questions. These questions goes all the way up to verse number 15, 16, all the way up to 16. He keeps asking various questions, and he also inspires Maitreya Rishi why he should speak and what he should speak, etc. etc. Vidura uvacha sukaya karmani karoti loko natai sukam vanyaduparamam va vindeta bhuyastatayeva dukkham yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadenna. So in this verse, he is glorifying Maitreya Rishi as Bhagavan. So this Bhagavan is refers to Maitreya Rishi because he is a greatly learned personality. He studied under Parashara Muni and is the co-student of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is also an empowered incarnation of Supreme Lord. So he is as good as Bhagavan because he embodies that potency of knowledge. That's why he calls him as Bhagavan. But his question is very interesting, which we can actually relate to our day-to-day observations, which we can see in our life, our own life, or in the life of our neighbors, our known, near and dear also. So herein, Vidurai says that Sukaya Karamani Karoti Loko. In this world, this is my observation for the last many years. I have observed that people perform various activities with a desire to get sukha, with a desire to get auspicious results from their activity so that they can experience happiness, they can live happily in this world. So with that intention, they undertake various projects, they start performing various activities. Then what is the result of those activities? Vidura says, Natai stukam. The intention with which they are performing the activities, they are not able to get it. They are not getting sukha. For sukha, they are performing activities. They are not getting sukha. And then, okay, no problem. Then what? Va anyat. They are not able to diminish the misery they were experiencing previously. What was the reason they want to get sukha? Because they are going through some troubled situation. They are experiencing some disturbances in their life. They want to get rid of the disturbances and experience some happiness. So when they perform activities, first thing, they are not getting sukha. Second thing, they are not able to diminish their current misery. They are not able to extinguish the misery is there in their life currently. So for any logical person, any normal sane person, so if you are going through misery and you want to get happiness, so you have taken one project, you have taken some activity. So because of that activity, you are neither getting happiness nor the misery is going away. The misery is there and happiness is not there, and you are still performing activity. So a sane person should understand that. So this activity is not at all giving me any happiness. Let me stop this. No, there is no use in performing this activity. Na uparamamba. So Vidura says that like that they are never thinking. They are never thinking that okay, performing the activity with the desire to get happiness is not giving expected results. Removing the distress are giving happiness. So they are not giving up the activity. Instead, what they are doing, Vindeta Bhuya. They are thinking that let me do some other activity. So if this activity is not giving me happiness, let me do the other activity, so that activity will give me happiness. Like that, they are undertaking one after the other many activities. Vindeta Bhuya, but as a result, Tata Eva Dukkam. Their old misery is not mitigated. Instead, they are getting new miseries. By undertaking new different activities, they are getting more and more new miseries. Yadatra Yuktam Bhagavan Vadenna. So, my dear Lord, my dear Guru, my dear Master, can you please tell me the reason for this? Why people do this as if they don't have any knowledge, they don't have any understanding, and what is the reason for this world is made like that? And what is the remedy for this? So here he asks basically three questions. What is the reason people are doing like this? In spite of knowing that every activity is giving only misery, still they are performing again and again so many activities. And what is the reason with which this world is made like that? It seems that it's not the problem with the people. It is the problem with the world itself. The world itself is designed in such a way that whatever activity you do, you will only get misery. So why it is done like that? Please tell me the reason for it. And by the way, I am asking the question directly, but I am indirectly asking that please tell me the remedy for this also. So these are the three questions Vidura asks Maitreya Rishi. So the immediate answer of Maitreya Rishi is that why are you asking me? You yourself are a greatly learned person. You know everything. You are very famous as a person of knowledge. You are the minister of entire Hastinapur, the capital of the entire Bharata Varsha. Why are you asking me? Then Vidura says, you may say so many things, but I am a politician. I am a minister in the royal court of Hastinapur kingdom. But I don't know all these transcendental subject matters. So he says that my little understanding is this much. So whatever I understand is only this much. So based on this, you decide what to do, what to tell or not, whether you want to answer me or not. My understanding is Janasya Krishna Dvimukasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya Anugrahayena Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. My understanding is Janasya Krishna Dvimukasya Daivat. The people of this material world performing all these activities with a desire to get happiness and diminish their distress is only for one reason. What is that? They have turned their face away from Lord Krishna. Janasya Krishna's Vimukasya. They have turned their face from their Daiva, Lord Sri Krishna. By turning their face away from Lord Krishna, what they are doing? Adharma Shilasya. They have become the followers of Adharma. In order to get the fulfillment of their desires, in order to get happiness, they are not following the rules and regulations prescribed by Lord Krishna in the Vedic literature. Instead, they are taking shelter of Adharma. So because they are taking shelter of Adharma, performing various activities with a desire to get happiness in this material world, they are only getting su dukhitasya, perpetual misery after misery. Whatever activity they may perform, in the bracket, Adharma Shila, Adharmic activity, because of which they are only getting dukkha in this material world. But in order to enlighten such kind of people who are in ignorance and performing adharmic activities and getting misery after misery, anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. The great souls anugrahayena charanti nunam janardanasya. The great devotees of the Janardana, the devotees of Lord Janardana, with a desire, with an intent of showing the right path to such miserable conditioned souls, they actually travel on the surface of the earth. The reason is anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani. Those living entities who are actually perpetually taking life after life, going through misery after misery, in order to stop their cycle of transmigration, in order to stop their perpetual misery, the great souls travel on the surface of the earth with an intention to teach the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, following which they can mitigate their misery, following which they can experience their happiness, following which they can go back home back to Godhead, where they can be experiencing perpetual happiness. So this is my understanding. So with this understanding, I have come to you. So like that he was saying, even the same details were spoken by Mother Kunti in the first canto, 8th chapter, where she was offering her prayers of gratitude to Lord Krishna when Lord Krishna was departing from Hastinapur to Dwaraka. This is 1834. Sorry, 1835. Wherein Kunti Maharani says, okay, I will open that. 1835. Bhavesmin krishyamānānām avidya kama karmabhi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. So, various people tell various reasons about your appearance in this world in various incarnations. Some say this is the reason, some say that is the reason, some say this is the reason. People say that Lord Brahma prayed, so you came here. People say that Mother Earth prayed to reduce the burden, you came here. People say that in order you appeared in Yaduvamsha in order to glorify Yadu. And some say that you appeared here to establish Yudhishthir as the king. But my understanding is this. This is my understanding. Bhavesmin Krishyamananam avidya kama karmabhi. The people of this world, because of avidya, because of the forgetfulness of the real knowledge, the true understanding about themselves and Supreme Lord, they actually, their heart is filled with kama, so many material desires. In order to fulfill all those material desires, they perform so much karma. This karma can be called in the bracket as adharmic activities. They perform all the sinful activities in order to fulfill their sinful desires. As a result of performing all the sinful activities, they only experience misery. Klishyamananam. And for those people who are perpetually experiencing misery because they performed adharmic activities, because their heart is filled with material desires, because they have forgotten about their real knowledge, about their connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in order to deliver them, you appear in various incarnations. Now also you appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Why my appearance will deliver them? Then Kunti Maharani says that since you appear in various incarnations, by which people get a subject matter to hear, Shravana. People get a subject matter to contemplate upon, smarana. People get a form to worship, arhana. Because Lord Krishna appeared, we have Lord Krishna's deity. Because Lord Ram appeared, we have Lord Rama's deity. It's like that. Karishyan iti kechana. Because of this reason, you appear in this world again and again in various incarnations, so that people have some subject matter to hear about, discuss about, and contemplate upon, and also people have a particular form to worship. If you don't appear, what kind of form they will worship and what subject matter they will hear and discuss and contemplate upon? By your appearance, you are giving them the proper subject matter to read, hear, study, and understand, contemplate upon, etc. etc. So, this is the reason for which you appear in this world. Same thing here, Uddhava also kind of tells. So, this is how Uddhava is telling. Then immediately Maitreya says that, okay, you are telling that Anugrahayena Chiranti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyana Janardanasya. The Janardanasya means the people of Lord Janardana, the devotees of Lord Janardana. But I never think that I am a devotee. Your father Vyasdev is actually a devotee. He is the personality, the messenger of Lord Janardana. You please go to him. He will give you your expected answer, your desired answer. The reason for the people of this world, why they are going performing all the activities like this, why this world is designed like that, and what is the remedy for that. So then in the next verse, Vidura answers. He wanted to inspire Maitreya Rishi so that Maitreya Rishi will answer his questions. Then he says that Tatsaduvarya Dishavartmatamna Sambradito Bhagavan Ena Pumsham Hrudistito Yachati Bhakti Pute Jnanam Sasatvabigamam Puranam Tat Sadhuvarya Adisha. So you are telling me to go to Vyasdev, see, because he is one of the messenger or ambassador of Lord Krishna, Janardana. But according to me, you are also one of the ambassadors. Tat sadhu varya. Among all such sadhus, you are actually varya. You are the best among all the sadhus. All such ambassadors of Supreme Lord, you are the best. That's why I have come to the best personality. So don't shoo me away. I analyzed who is the best devotee of the Supreme Lord, who has the knowledge, who had understood the mission of the Supreme Lord. So I have approached the right person. You are the sadhu varya. Out of such all those sadhus, you are actually best. And what is my desire is in approaching you is Vartva Shamna. Sadhu varya disha Vartma Shamna. May you please teach me the bona fide path. Vartma means we say that Prataprataksha Guru or Vartma Prataksha Guru. Vartma means the bona fide path, following which the people of this world can mitigate their misery, can get happiness while they are living in this world, and they can go back home back to Godhead. This is Sadhu Vartma. Please teach me that bona fide path, following which people will be delivered from this material existence. Since I have approached the best person, you can teach, you have the caliber to teach, you have the knowledge to teach. So please don't disappoint me. Please teach me. You are one of such ambassadors of Supreme Lord. So kindly speak to me. So what should be the qualities of that path? He says that Samradito Bhagavan Ena Pumsham. So using that Sadhu Vartma, the Pumsham, the people of this world, they should be able to worship the Supreme Lord. Samradito Bhagavan Ena Pumsham. Sama Aradito Bhagavan. They should be able to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead completely. The result of understanding what you teach should be every person of this world should be able to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By that worship, what should happen? Hrudistito yachati bhakti pute. Bhakti should manifest in the heart of all such people and that bhakti should purify the heart of all material desires. Bhakti pute, Hrudi, being situated in the heart, that bhakti unto Lord Krishna or Lord Bhagavan, Hrudi pute, it should purify the heart of all contaminations. Jnanam, that bhakti should reveal the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sa tattva adigamam puranam. Jnanam about what? About the tattva of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vadanti tat tattva yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti shabdate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So people should be able to understand these three tattvas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With a complete understanding of the Supreme Lord, they should be able to worship the Supreme Lord in complete. That bhakti which just arisen in their heart should purify the heart of all those worshippers and make them qualified to go back home back to Godhead. So this is my desire. So that kind of bhakti may you teach sadhu vartma, following which people will remove their distress, get happiness in this world, and go back home back to Godhead. So it is kind of a checkmate. So now Maitreya cannot say anything. So that's how Vidura put him in checkmate condition. Now he should speak. So this is how Vidura expresses his desire. Even later on in the fourth canto, Prahlad Maharaj also, not Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj also expresses somewhat similar desire to Narada Muni. So feeling offended by the sharp words of Suruchi, the stepmother of Dhruva, and being instructed by his mother that he can get the fulfillment of his desires only by worshipping Lord Vishnu in the forest. As he was going to the forest, Narada Muni approached him and told that you should not take the words of your stepmother very seriously. You are a small boy. Go home and play with your friends and be happy. Then he says, Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaj says that, so my dear Narada, my dear great sage, if you have come, somehow you have come, I want to worship Lord Vishnu, you tell me the bona fide path how to worship Vishnu. I have this desire. In order to fulfill the desire, you tell me the bona fide path. So he says that Padam Tribhuvanotkrustam Jigisho Sadhu Vartmame. I want to get the position which is superior to three Bhuvanas, Bhuloka, Borloka, Svargaloka. In fact, it should be superior to the position of Lord Brahma, my great grandfather himself. But I don't want to get it in a cheating way. I don't want to get it in a wrong way. In order to get that position which is superior to my great grandfather Lord Brahma, or like that of Lord Brahma, Padam Jigisho Sadhu Vartmame. Can you please teach me the bona fide path, Sadhu Vartma, following which I will get a position superior to that of Lord Brahma, which is superior to three planets, three abodes of this world, Bhuloka, Borloka, and Svargaloka. There Narada Muni prescribes about Bhakti Yoga, like that. So this question, whatever is mentioned here, Sadhu Varyadisha Varma Shamna. So there, what Dhruva Maharaj is asking Narada Muni, they are in the same line, we can see. The determined devotees are always ask one question, please tell me the bona fide path, following which not only me but everyone in this world will get deliverance from this material existence. This is the compassion of pure devotees upon the conditioned souls. So then, so as you are speaking, as you are explaining about the bona fide path following which one will go back to Godhead, may you also speak about few other additional things that he says in this verse. Karoti karmani kutavataro van yanyatmatantro bhagavam stradisha yata sasarjagra idam niriha samstapya vrittim jagato vidatte. Bhagavan Trayadisha, Trayadisha, the supreme personality of Godhead, who appearing as Mahavishnu, who is the lord of three modes of material nature. Trayadisha means the lord of three modes of material nature. That lord, who is Mahavishnu, is the lord of three modes of material nature. He is an expansion of the supreme personality of Godhead. He appeared for the purpose of, he appeared at the beginning for the purpose of Sasar Jagra, for the purpose of creation. Idam, this world, in which the people are performing various activities like this, in order to get happiness and diminish their mistress. Idam Niriha. Samstapya Vrittim Jagato Vidatte. So he said that Lord Mahavishnu is the Lord of three modes of material nature. He appeared at the beginning in order to create, maintain, and annihilate this universe in which the people perform various activities. They follow this vritti, Jagato Vrittim, in order to diminish their misery, get happiness, and experience happiness, etc. etc. So that Lord, that Supreme Personality of God, who appearing as Mahavishnu did all these things, he also appears in various avatars. Karoti karmani kurtavataro. He appears in many other avatars and performs many pastimes. He comes as Lord Kurma. He comes as Lord Matsya. He comes as Lord Varaha. He comes as Lord Kurma. He comes as Lord Narasimha. And many avatars, Lord Vamana, etc. And he performs various pastimes. So, can you please describe about all those pastimes also? The pastimes of Lord Mahavishnu, with the Lord of three, is the Lord of three modes of material nature. And you also speak about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in various avatars, who is the Lord of three Purushas, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who have appeared to perform the maintenance and creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world. So, like that, he says that. So, he basically says that you answer me three questions, the original three questions: why people are doing like this, and why this world has been created like this, and what is the remedy for this. According to me, the remedy is the bona fide path, the bona fide sadhana that you teach. And according to me, the remedy is also the hearing of the subject matter of the Supreme Lord's various avatars. That also you tell me. So like that, he is telling more exactly what he is supposed to speak, what Maitreya Rishi is supposed to speak. So please speak about the activities of various avatars of Lord Krishna and also the activities of three Purusha avatars: Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who created this material world, who maintained this material world, who annihilated this material world. Then he continues further. Yata punasvekamidam niveshya Sete guhayam sa nivritta vritti Yogeshwaradishwara eka etad anupravisto baudhayatasid. So here in the next couple of verses, he actually specifically talks about the activities of the Purusha avatars. So he wanted to hear about the Purusha avatars also, how they create, maintain, annihilate the universe. That he says. Yatva punasve ka idam niveshya sete guhayam sa nivritta vritti. So when all the material universes were completely annihilated, when there was nothing called as so-called material world existence, that time it was Mahavishnu alone was sleeping in Karana ocean. That's why it's called as Sete Guhayam. He was sleeping in a secret way. He was not known to anybody because there was no material world. How anyone knows? So he was sleeping in a secret place. Nivritta Vritti, giving up all the variety of activities. The only one activity which Mahavishnu does is glancing upon Pradhana. That activity also is stopped. As long as Mahavishnu glances upon Pradhana, that long the universe is maintained. The material universes are maintained. When he stops glancing, all the universes are annihilated. They enter back into the body of Karnodakshaya Vishnu. So Nivritta Vritti, he has given up glancing upon Pradhana. Yogeshwaradishwara Eka Etad. That time he was alone. And that alone person, in order to create all the material universes, he glanced upon Prakriti. That Prakriti exhibiting her potency, transformed herself into 24 metal elements. By their combination, the entire metal universe are formed. And then Anupravishto Bahuda Yatasit. And into each and every universe, that Karnodakshaya Vishnu entered as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and himself situated in each universe as long as the universe is maintained. So he's telling briefly about all these details about the creation with a desire to understand them in detail from Maitreya Rishi. Anupravishto Bahuda Yatasis. That Karnodakshaya Vishnu entered into many universes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. The same Garbhodakshaya Vishnu entered into many living entities' heart as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, as their Paramatma, and they are situated in their respective places. So this is what I know. Kridam vidatte dvijago suranam क्षेमाय कर्माणि अवतार भेदै मनो न तृप्यति अपि शृण्वताम्ना सुश्लोकमौले चरितामृतानि. So again, in the previous verse, he explained about the activities of the Purusha avatars. Now in this verse, he is explaining about the activities of the other avatars, Leela avatars. Kridam vidatte dvijago suranam. In order to perform various pastimes like a play in relation to Dvija, the Brahmanas, Go, the cows, Sura, the Devatas. Kshemaya Karmani Avatara Beda. He accepted various avatars, different avatars, in order to bring Kshema to all these three people, Dvija, Go, and Sura. In order to bring auspiciousness to the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Supreme Lord, and the cows, and also the Devatas, who are the representatives of the Supreme Lord, who are taking care of the maintenance of the entire universe under the guidance of Lord Vishnu. So for their well-being, for their auspiciousness, you undertake so many avatars and perform various pastimes like a play, Kridam Vidatte. Manona Trupyati Api Shrunvatamna. I have heard about them many times from many great personalities, many times from my father also. But my mind is not completely satisfied. Mano na Trupyati. Sushloka Mauler Charitamrutani. Because the Sushloka Mauli, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is glorified by choice poetry, his glories are like Amruta. One is not satisfied by drinking only one glass of Amruta. One want to drink it continuously again and again. So I am not satisfied by hearing about them from various personalities. Now I want to hear from you also more and more. So please disappoint me. I have come from long way. I was traveling all over the surface of the earth. I came from Vrindavan all the way here up to Haridwar. So please do not disappoint me. Please speak about the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various incarnations, which he appears to bring auspicious to Dvijago Suranam. ऐस्तत्त्वभेदैरधिलोकनाथो लोकानलोकान् सह लोकपालान् अचिक्लपद्यत्र हि सर्वसत्त्वा निकाय भेदो अधिकृता pratita. And again he goes back to the previous question about the activities of the three Purusha avatars. He says that my understanding is that Eis Tattva Beder Adilokanatha, the Lord of all the material creation, is Mahavishnu. He created from his own self the 24 tattvas. First, he created Pradhana. From Pradhana, he created all the 24 tattvas. Tattva Beder. Beder means the variety in 24 divisions. Adilokanatha refers to Mahavishnu, Karnadoksha Vishnu. Lokan, Alokan. And with the help of those 24 tattvas, he created unlimited universes with different places where some places people can live, some places people cannot live. Lokan refers to those abodes where people can live. Alokan refers to those abodes where people cannot live. So he created various abodes. Some places people can live, some places people cannot live. And Sahaloka Palan. He also created all the variety of leaders of the places. Achikrita Dyatrahi Sarvasatva. The places, their leaders, and then all the variety of living entities. Sarva Sattva Nikaya Bedo. Sattva means all the variety of living entities who have life. Devatas, rishis, human beings, animal, variety of animals, aquatics, and the plants, etc. All the variety of animals. Adhikrita Pratita. So this is very much very widely described in all the Vedic literature. This I have heard many times from Vedic literature and from many people. So this is my understanding that Adilokanatha Mahavishnu created 24 tattvas from Pradhana, and with them he created unlimited universes within which there are divisions where people can live and other places where people cannot live. He also created the leaders of those places, and he also filled all those places with variety of living entities. Sarva Sattva Nikhaya Bedo, with different divisions. The sages, devatas, human beings, animals, aquatics, and the plants, etc. etc. So can you please elaborately speak about all these things? Then he says, Yena prajanam uta atma karma rupa bidanam cha bidam vyadatta narayano vishvasrugatmayone etachano varnaya vipravarya. He says that Yena prajanam uta atma karma rupabidanam cha bidam vyadatta. So this Lord, the Mahavishnu, who also entered into each and every universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Narayana, who is also called as Narayana, expanding himself as Vishwasruk Atma Yonir. Atma Yoni refers to Lord Brahma, who is also called as Swayambhuva, who appeared directly from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's navel lotus. The lotus appeared from the navel of the Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From that lotus, Lord Brahma appeared. So that Lord Brahma is called as Atma Yoni, who appeared from Lord Vishnu himself. And that Brahma later on divided that lotus into 14 divisions, created 14 divisions in the universe. And he also created bodies for all the variety of living entities. Rupa Bidanam cha Bidam Vedatta. So Lord Vishnu did not do on his own. Instead, he empowered Lord Brahma to do it. Sarva Sattva Nikayanaya. The creation of all the variety of living entities is actually done by Brahma. Matlab, giving them different variety of bodies. The body of the sages, the body of the devatas, the body of the human beings, the body of the variety of animals, the body of the aquatics and the plants. It is all given by Lord Brahma to all the variety of jivas. So this Lord Narayana does by expanding himself as Lord Brahma or by empowering Lord Brahma. Rupavidanam cha bidam yadatta. Yena prajana mutatma karma. So what all he did? By giving them different forms, he also gave them Atma. Atma refers to Swabhava. Different people have different independent mentalities, different natures. So by creating the body for all the variety of jivas, he also enabled them with individual nature and karma, individual karma. Every person does things in a different way, and every person is designated with different karma. Someone is a Brahmana, someone is Kshatriya, someone is Vaishya, Shudra, like that. All the variety of divisions have been created. Different natures, different activities, different forms, and Abhidanam, Chabidam. And all these things are designated with a particular name, particular identity. All the identities were also given to all the living entities. Atma, that means Swabhava, Karma, activity, Rupa, form, Abhidhana, name or identity. All these things were given by Lord Brahma, who appeared from Lord Vishnu himself, Garbhodaksha Vishnu himself. Etachano Varnaya Vipravarya. I want to understand about all these things in detail. I only know the heading. I want you to describe the details. Everything, whatever I mentioned from the beginning till now, all those things I want to know. Please speak about all these things elaborately in detailed manner. So, as he asked that, please tell me all these things in detailed manner. Then Maitreya says, hey, what is this you are asking? You are the disciple of Vyasdev, who is the compiler of all the Vedic literatures, who is the Lord himself. You have heard from him many times. You know all these things. Why are you asking me? You are already the student of Vyasdev, who is the best teacher of this world. You know everything. Why are you unnecessarily asking me? Then Vidura says, Paravaresham Bhagavan Vratani Shrutani me Vyasamukadabhikshnam Atrapnumakshulla Sukavahanam Tesham Krishna Katamrutaugat. Paravaresham. I have heard repeatedly Bhagavan Vratani Tesham Rute Krishna Kuta Katam Shrutani me Vyasa Mukha Dabhikshnam. I have heard from Lord Vyasa's Mukha, my dear fathers, Vyasdev, he is from his Mukha, from his mouth. I have heard many times about the many rules and regulations about this world. Para, Avara, Esham, the superior rules of this world and the inferior rules on this of this world. My father taught me about how to live in this world in many ways. Shrutani me Vyasa Mukad Abhikshnam. Atrupshma Atrupnuma Kshulla Sukavahanam. Many times I have heard from my father about all these things, but I am not satisfied by hearing all these things. My father told me about various rules and regulations, various guidelines, following which one can live happily here, and after death one can go to Swarga. Para refers to Swarga here, Avara refers to here, getting happiness here and getting happiness in Swarga. But I am not satisfied with reading all these things. So these rules and regulations of getting happiness in this world are actually not giving me happiness. So Tesham Rute Krishna Kataamrutaugad. So these topics are without Krishna Katha. These topics are without direct Krishna Katha. Rite means without Krishna Katamrutaugad. They are bereft of direct Krishna Katha. So these topics are spoken by my father in the book known as Mahabharata. Mahabharata mainly talks about Dharmartha Kama. So many things, how to attain Dharmartha Kama by following the principles of Vedic literature. Get the fulfillment of all the desires here and go to Swarga and enjoy more. I have heard many times from my father all these things because they are bereft of direct Krishna Katha. I am not satisfied by hearing all those things. Then Maitreya says, how can you say that? The Mahabharata is bereft of Krishna Katha. No, it is filled with Krishna Katha. So then he says in the next verse, Kastrupnuyat tirtapado vidhanat satreshu vasuribiridyamanat yakkarnanadim purushasya yato bhava pradam ke haratim chinanti. He says that Kastrupniya Tirtha Padobidanat Satreshu Suri Vriddhimanat. So this Mahabharata which was spoken by my father, basically the whatever my father spoke about how to live in this world happily, how to go to Swarga, also consists of Krishna Katha. It also has Krishna Katha here and there. Kastrupniya Tirtha Pado Abhidanat. But who will be satisfied by hearing Krishna Katha here and there once in a while? That will not give one satisfaction. Personal people like me want to hear Krishna Katha continuously, not once in a while here and there, in the midst of so many other topics such as Dharmartha Kama. Satre Shuva Suribiridyam Anat. I want to hear from the lotus mouth of the great Suris like you, great devotees like you. Idyamana, I want to do the worship of the Supreme Lord by the process of hearing. Yak karna nadim purushasya yato bhava pradam geya hratim chinanti. Because it is only by hearing Krishna Katha continuously, the geha ratim, the attachment to the happiness of the body, which will give perpetual samsara in this middle world. Bhava pradam. Bhava refers to repeated birth and death. So geha rati will give the samsara for the jiva. So chinanti. So continuous hearing of Krishna Katha will destroy the geharati, and hence the taking up of the perpetual birth and death in the material world is also destroyed. Bhava pradam geharatim chinanti. This is only possible by hearing Krishna Katha continuously, which is spoken by great suris like you. So please speak to me. My father told so many topics and also Krishna Katha, but that hearing Krishna Katha once in a while did not give me complete satisfaction. Now I want to hear from you only Krishna Katha, not the topics of Dharmartha Kama, which are elaborately described in the Mahabharata. That I don't want. Then he goes into more details about Mahabharata. Why Vyasdev taught Mahabharata with Dharmartha Kama. Munir Vivakshur Bhagavad Gunanam Sakapite Bharata Maha Krishna Yasmin Dranam Gramya Sukava Sukanuvadir Matir Grihitanu Hare Kataya. Munir Vivakshur Bhagavad Gunanam Sakapite Bharata Maha Krishna. Saka Apite. Saka The. Your close friend Vyasadev. Krishna. Here Krishna refers to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. The Vyasadev full name is Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Krishna refers to his bodily complexion is that of black, like Krishna. The bluish complexion or blackish complexion. That's why Krishna. Dvaipayana. Because he was born in the middle of the river. When Parashara Muni saw Satyavati, who was actually riding the boat, who was taking Parashara Muni across the river Saraswati. So on the way, actually Parashara Muni performed great tapasya previously with a desire to have a son. And when Lord Vishnu appeared, Parashara Muni asked, "My dear Lord, I want to have a son like you. Or in fact, I want to have you as my son." That time Lord Vishnu revealed that, don't worry. In the future, when you see the daughter of Matsya King, Matsyaraj, so then through her you will beget me. So I will be born in this world through the womb of the Matsya Kanya. So whenever you see her, you will remember about this blessing of mine. Until then, you continue to travel all over the surface of the world. So after the blessing given by Lord Vishnu, he was traveling here and there, teaching everyone. And one day when he wanted to cross Saraswati river, he saw a boat woman. She was the daughter of a fisherman, and she would help the sages cross across Saraswati river. So Parashara Muni asked, "Can you take me across the river?" As they were going across, he looked at her, then immediately remembered. So this was the girl Lord Vishnu hinted upon. Lord Vishnu wanted to take birth through the womb of this girl. Then immediately Parashara Muni asked that girl, "So I want to marry you and I want to beget a son through you." And she says that, "No, no, no, I am a daughter of a Matsya Raja. How can I marry you? But at the same time, I cannot say no to a great sage like you. So please tell me what is the appropriate duty for me." Then Parasharamu tells that you are actually not a daughter of Matsya. You are actually daughter of a king. You are the daughter of Uparichara Vasu, is the king of Virata kingdom, and through that king semen, there were two children were born through a fish. So it is you and your brother. Your brother is staying with your father. He will become the king of that Virata kingdom, and you are here being taken care by this the leader of the fishermen. And according to destiny, you are supposed to become the queen of Astinapur. So that is there on your destiny. And now your body is embedded with fish smell because you are living in the midst of all these fishermen. From your body comes a kind of smell of fish. That's why you are also known as Matsya. The smell of fish is there all over your body. And by my touch, your body will emit a wonderful um, fragrance, which is very pleasing to everyone. Whoever come near to you, they will be very happy by that smell. And at the same time, you are going to be the queen of Hastinapur. I will marry you. I will beget a son from you, and you do not lose your virginity. You will remain a Kanya. You are the most suitable person to become the queen of the Hastinapur. You are not at all contaminated. So then, immediately, Parashara Muni calls his grandfather because his father already died. Shakti was died by Vishwamitra Muni because the quarrel between Vishwamitra and Vasishta, Shakti already died. So Parashara Muni calls his grandfather and all the Saptarishis, all the great sages of the Swarga, they all came. So by the consent of Uparichara Vasu, because she is actually the daughter of Uparichara Vasu, they all approached Uparichara Vasu that my son wanted, Vasishta approached Uparichara Vasu that my grandson wanted to marry your daughter. So Uparichara Vasu actually granted happily. So please, my daughter can be married to you. So then in their presence, Parashara Muni married her and they all bade him farewell. They left, they disappeared. Then in the middle of the Saraswati river, he created an island and he created fog. In the middle of the fog, he begot a son through her. So because since these two are kind of divine personalities, as soon as they were married, the son was born immediately. And Parashurama told that, so I only married you to just beget the son. Son was born. Now I am leaving. You take care of your son. So Parashuramuni leaves. He never seen to be again this lady. He never came in front of this lady. And that son who was just born, he immediately grew to youth. He became youthful, 16 years old boy. Then that boy told to his mother that, my dear mother, thank you very much for giving me birth in this world. Thank you very much for becoming a means for me to come to this world. Now I have to go and perform austerities. I am going to Himalayas. So whenever you need any help from me, may you chant my name 3 times. I will appear in front of you. So telling these few words, he also departed from that place. He went to the Himalayas. That is where he performed austerities. He also met again with his father Parashara Muni, studied under him all the variety of subject matters, etc. etc. So since he was born Dvaipayana, Dvaipa means the water which is going in two canals, and in between those two canals of water there is one Dvipa. So in that Dvipa he was born. That's why he was called as Dvaipayana. Krishna, his complexion is Krishna. That's why Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. He will become the Vyasa in future. That's why his name is Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. And he is the friend of Maitreya. Both Maitreya and he studied under the school of Parashara Muni. So this was the whole story of that personality. So then it says that your friend Vyasa had written Mahabharat, had compiled Mahabharat. So for what purpose? Munir Vivakshor Bhagavad Gunanam, in which he described the wonderful glories of the Supreme Lord once in a while here and there. For the people, Yasmin Ranam Gramya Sukanu Vadir. Gramya Sukha Vadir. The people of this world who always talk about Gramya Sukha, the material happiness. The happiness while living here, the happiness in Swarga. The people who are interested only in the happiness here or in Swarga, Gramya Sukha Vadir. In order to teach them the importance of hearing Krishna Katha, the importance of practicing Bhakti, Matir grihitanu hare katayam. In order to attract their mind from Gramya Sukha to Harikatha, Vyasadeva compiled Bhagavatam, adding Bhagavad Guna, the description of Lord's wonderful qualities here and there. So mainly he talked about Dharmartha Kama, how to attain Dharmartha Kama, and he talked about Krishna Katha here and there once in a while, and also talked about Moksha here and there once in a while. But the main topic of Mahabharata is Dharmartha Kama, how to attain Dharma, Artha and Kama. So that topics I have heard many times, but I am not interested in Gramya Sukha. I am interested in Harikatha. That's why that did not give me complete satisfaction. I am approaching you here, Krishna Katha, continuously. So that's what he says that Kastrupnaya Tirtha Kadovidana Satreshva Suri Vriddimana. I have come to the Satra of the Suri, the great devotee of you, where the Suri is continuously discuss Krishna Katha only, not the material topics. So I want to hear Krishna Katha continuously from you. May you please give me this kind blessing. So like that, he's trying to inspire Maitreya Rishi that he should speak Krishna Katha continuously. Then finally, in couple of verses, he wanted to inspire Maitreya Rishi very nicely. Sa Shraddhadanasya Vivardhamana Virakti Manyatra Karoti Pumsha Hare Padano Smruti Nirvritasya Samasa Dukkhapayamashu Dhatte. He said that Sa Shraddhadana Asya Vivardhamanasya. So, kindly speak Krishna Katha in such a way that whatever little faith that is there in my mind, whatever little faith that is there in the heart of the people of this world, that faith should increase. Vivardhamanasya. That should increase gradually. Virakti Manyatra. As the faith upon Lord increases, the detachment from the Gramya Sukha should decrease. Virakti, one should develop Virakti, detachment from the Gramya Sukha. Anyatra. Karoti Pumsha. For the people of this world. That should happen. Hare Padanusmruti Nirvritasya. Each and every moment their contemplation should be upon Harer Pada Anusmriti. They should be able to contemplate upon Lord Hari's lotus feet continuously. Samasta Dukkapaya Masu Datte. Only by continuous meditation upon Lord's lotus feet, all the variety of dukkha will be destroyed from the people of this world. According to me, there is no other means for the diminution of the misery of the people of this world. The only remedy is Harer Pada Anusmruti, continuous remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Hari. That is possible only if they hear Krishna Katha from the great personalities like you, Suribi Reddymana, who perform the worship of glorifying Krishna's wonderful qualities, Bhagavad Gunanam. So I have come to you with this intention, not only for me, for the people of this world. So people like you, Janasya Krishna, Vimukasya Daivad, Anugrahayena Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. In order to give auspicious to people of this world, people like you are traveling all over the world. Now it is your time to show your Anugraha on the suffering souls of this world. By speaking Krishna Katha, you can enable them to have Haripada Anusmriti, by which Samasta Dukkha Apayam Ashu Datte. Very soon they will be freed from all the misery of this material world. Tan socha sochan navido nu soche Hare Katayam Vimukana Ghena Kshínoti Devo Nimishastu Esham Ayurrutavada Gigati Smrutinam. So here he says that in this world there are three kinds of people. So one kind of people are devotees like you. The second kind of people are Ayur Ruta Vada Gati Smrutinam. The people who spend their life wastely, timelessly, with a desire to get happiness now here in this world, here in this place, and desire to get happiness in Swarga in the next life. Thus, performing various things with a desire to get happiness here, there, they're actually wasting their lifespan. Vrutavada gati smrutinam. Kshinoti devo animishastu yesham. They're actually wasting their time. Ayur aranti vaipumsham udyan astau chayan nasau. The people of this world whose art is embedded, whose art is contemplate, immersed in the material misery, material enjoyment, every rising and setting of the sun depleting their lifespan of one day. So that the same thing is telling. So Hare Katayam Vimuka Agena, because they have turned their face away from Harikatha. There are two kinds of people among this category. Those who have turned their face from Harikatha. Some people are faithless, some people are envious. Some people don't have faith in Harikatha. Hey, why Harikatha? Without Harikatha, just by doing these Karmakanda rituals, I can go to heaven, I can get happiness here. Why I need to hear Harikatha? Why I need to discuss Harikatha? It is not required. Some people say that, and some people say that, why Hari? They are envious of Hari. Not required. No Hari. I will do my karma, I will do my jnana, I will get my sarga or moksha. Without the need of Hari, I will show you how to get it. Some people they say, okay, Hari is fine, but I don't think so. Let me do this and get this. Like that, some people are faithless. Some people are faithless about the existence of Vaikunta, the existence of perpetual happiness in Vaikunta. They are only interested in Swarga's happiness. They think that the Swarga happiness is highest. They are faithless about Hari. And some people are envious of Hari. Why Hari? Without Hari, I can get everything. No Hari. They are envious. So it says that Tan socha sochan avidonu soche. The faithless show pity upon the envious people. Because the envious people, they say that without Hari itself, I get liberation. I'll go to liberation. The faithless, they said, what liberation? There is nothing in liberation, no happiness in liberation. The life is meant to get happiness now, life is meant to get happiness next life in Swarga. Purpose of life is to go to Swarga, they say. And these people are pitied by pure devotees. The pure devotees say that the purpose of human life is not meant to get happiness either here or in Swarga. The purpose of life is to serve the Supreme Lord and give him happiness, by which one will get happiness. Like this, these three kinds of people are there in this world. The envious who want to follow jnana and attain moksha, the faithless who want to follow karma and attain swarga, but the faithful devotees who practice bhakti and want to become an eternal associate of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotees show pity upon karmis, karmis show pity upon jnanis, because jnanis are performing severe austerities. So karmis say that what is the use of performing all these austerities? Enjoy life. Purpose of life is to enjoy. So like that, they pity upon. And devotees say that what do you want? Why you are after the temporary material enjoyment? Practice bhakti, you will go to Vaikunta, you experience perpetual enjoyment. Even if you go to Swarga, you have to come back again. This is temporary. Like that, devotees show pity upon the karmis. So there are the three kinds of people are there in this material world. And
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Just tell again three kind of people.
Uh,
To specify the three kind of people.
the first one is hardcore jnanis who want to attain moksha
Okay.
without serving the Supreme Lord, without surrendering to the Supreme Lord, because they are
Okay.
enemies of the Supreme Lord. So they are called Mayavadis.
Okay.
So they go through intense austerities. They are pitied by karmis who are enjoying now and who want to enjoy going to Swarga.
Okay.
And these karmis are pitied by devotees who say that this enjoyment in this world or in Swarga is temporary. The real
Okay.
enjoyment is available in Vaikunta. Like this, these three kinds of people are there in this world.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So this is the last verse for today's discussion. And tomorrow next week we'll continue from 16th onwards. Tadasya kausharavasaramadatur hare katamev katasu saram उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्ते उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्थ बंधु उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य just like a honeybee moving from one flower to other flower extract the nectar. Similarly, may you as Iva Artha Bandho, the friend of the distressed. Artha means the artists who are going through so many difficulties in this material world. You are actually a kind friend for all of them. In order to give them remedy for all these people, by becoming a honeybee, may you extract the essence of all the variety of Vedic literature that you have studied under Parashara Muni in the school of Parashara, Patshala, and Hare Kata Meva Kata Saram. And according to me, the essence is Harikatha, which is the essence of all the other discussions. So please discuss that Harikatha with an intention to give auspiciousness to the entire world. Shivaya Na, with a desire to give us auspiciousness, give to me, give to the entire world, the people of this entire world. Kirtaya Tirtha Kirte. Describe the wonderful glories of the holy place personified, the supreme personality of Godhead. Glorify his wonderful qualities and activities and pastimes and name, form. Please do this one benefit for me. So, sorry, just we'll take the next verse. He says that Savishwajanma Siti Samyamarte Kritavatara Pragrhita Sakshakti Chakara Karma Niyati Purushani Yanishwara Kirtayatani Mayam. So, in order to start Harikatha, I will tell you where to start. May you start with the description of the pastimes of Mahavishnu, how he creates this material world, how he maintains this material world, how he annihilates the material world, how he enables the jivas to perform various activities in the material world. Savishwa Janma Siti Samya Marte. Janma is the creation, Siti means maintenance, Samyama means annihilation. Kritavatara Pragrihita Shakti. At the beginning, the Supreme Lord accepted the avatara known as Mahavishnu, and with his Shakti accepting his Maya Shakti, Chakara Karmani Atipurushani, he performed the pastime of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Yanishwara Kirtaya Yatani Mayam. Can you please start with this katha? Please start with Sushti Lila. So finally, after telling all the variety of intentions, variety of desires, he tells that you may start with creation pastimes, Sushti Lila. Then Vidura stops. So when Vidura stops, Srila Shukadeva Goswami tells one important thing. With this, we'll stop for today. Sri Sukha Uvacha Sayevam Bhagavan Prishto Kshetra Kaushara Vomuni Pumshan Nishayatartena Tamaha Bahumanayan Sa Evam Bhagavan Prishto. Thus, Kshatta Vidura Kausharava Muni. Kausharava Muni also is Maitreya Muni. He asked various questions unto Maitreya Muni. He expressed his intention to Maitreya Muni. He expressed his desire to Maitreya Muni. For what purpose? Pumsham Nishreya Sartena. For the ultimate benefit of the people of this world who are actually going through perpetual misery. Vidura is not asking for his own benefit. Vidura is asking for the benefit of all of us. Because he understood that Maitreya knew the remedy for all our miseries. So by asking relevant questions to Maitreya Muni, he is extracting the bona fide path following which all of us can get rid of all the material miseries and can get rid of all the material desires and can go back home back to Godhead with our purified hearts. Tamaha Bahumanayan. So with this intention, he asked, giving him great respect, glorifying Maitreya the Bhagavan, glorifying Maitreya the one of the ambassador of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sadhu Varya, best of the devotees. So I want to conclude by telling one thing. We hear from Srimad Bhagavatam to 6th canto that there are 12 Mahajans. Mahajano yena gatasya panta. If we want to understand the true religious principles about Bhagavad Dharma, we need to take shelter of 12 Mahajans. Among the 12 Mahajans, the 12th Mahajan is Yamaraj himself. Swayambur Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishma Balirvaya Saki Vayam. Swayambhu is Lord Brahma, Narada, Shambhu is Lord Shiva, Kumara, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Balir, Vayasaki, Vayam. Vayasaki is Sukadeva Goswami himself, and then Vayam, myself. This is actually Yamaraj is speaking to his Yamadutas. So he says that I am also one of the 12 Mahajans. So that Yamaraj, by the curse of a Mandavi Muni, which will be there in the one of the next verses, which we will discuss in the next class, he appeared as Vidura in this world. Mandavi Muni cursed Yamaraj to become a son of Shudra, son of a Shudrani for 100 years. So as a result of that curse, Yamaraj, who is actually one of the 12 Mahajans, appeared in this world as Vidura. So he is a Mahajan. He is supposed to teach us the bona fide path, practicing which all of us should go back home back to Godhead. But here, that Yamaraj in the form of Vidura, instead of teaching directly, he is approaching Maitreya Rishi and extracting the essence of all the Vedic literature, extracting the bona fide path. Bona fide means practicing which all of us can go back home back to Godhead. This is the greatness of Yamaraj. Instead of he teaching directly, he is actually asking relevant questions to Maitreya Rishi, by which he is teaching us, all of us, through the medium of Maitreya Rishi. This is the intelligence of Yamaraj, one of the 12 Mahajans. He is doing his duty of teaching us Bhagavad Dharma through the medium of Maitreya Rishi. So this is the greatness of Yamaraj. This is what makes him a Mahajan, one of the 12 Mahajan. So following the teachings of Maitreya, what he speaks in the next two cantos, all of us can achieve the perfection of our life. So keeping this in the background of our mind, we can actually study these two cantos very seriously. So these are the few things which I wanted to speak for today. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So if some devotees have some clarification, some questions, we'll take for a couple of minutes. We have few minutes left.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So no queries?
Prabhuji, the Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, explanation was so nice and simple that no question of any queries, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes,
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. It was very nice.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, there is one query. Who are the 12 Mahajans? I mean, just now we were discussing. Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu means Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, and Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj. Janak Maharaj is the father of Mother Sita. Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma Dev, and Bali Maharaj, Vayasaki, Sukadeva Goswami, and Vayam refers to me. That is, Yamaraj is speaking, that's why Yamaraj. These were the 12 Mahajans, and these 12 people are the ambassadors of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have taught from their personal life example and through their verbal instructions about the Bhagavad Dharma, about Bhakti. What is Bhakti? How to practice Bhakti? And by practicing which, what kind of perfection all of us will get. So these are our 12 teachers. These are 12 teachers of Bhakti. whose teachings are spoken about in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's all by your prayers and blessings. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Yes.
pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. So we'll continue in the next Tuesday. Hopefully next week we'll have Tuesday only. So this week because of Ekadashi we have today class. So
All right.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vedamat Mataji. I mean that Mahabharat topic is clear. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, one moment. You said na 12 Mahajan, that is Brahmadev, Shiva, 4 Kumaras, Janak Maharaj, Bhishma, Yam, Bali Maharaj, and 2 more.
I mean, exactly. I don't remember what all you said. I'll tell you the shloka. I'll tell you the shloka where you have to find.
Sagi and Vayam.
Yes.
So where is that shloka? 6th canto, 3rd chapter. Vayam. So this is the shloka. You can, if you have Bhagavatam with you, or anyway,
Yes.
6th canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 20 and 21. That 12 names are mentioned. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapalo, Manu, Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma, Balir, Vyasaki, Vayam. So you can note down the names from this verse.
Okay.
Swayambhu refers to Lord Brahma, Shambhu refers to Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Manu refers to Swayambhu Manu, the first Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Mother Sita's father, and Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Vyasaki refers to Sukadev Goswami,
Yes.
and then Vayam. Vayam talks about Yamaraj himself. Yeah, the 12 Mahajans. 6, 3,
I got
20.
everything. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.